So last year we had an opportunity to go over to Odessa Brown Children's Clinic right there on Yesler in the Central District of Seattle. And man, I went to Odessa Brown as a kid, and Odessa Brown, like man, they had it's like 40,000 patient visits annually over there, and named after Odessa Brown, who man passed away early. I think she was only 49 years old when she passed away back in 1969, but she was a tireless advocate for health and access to health in the Black community. We talked to Dr. Shaquita Bell. At the time, she had been named the interim senior director over there, and has since now been promoted to senior director. And we talked to her about what's it like there at Odessa Brown. Also, the big elephant that was in the room at the time, the relationship between Odessa Brown and Children's Hospital. It was a lot of contention there, and she touched on that, and also touched on the future of Odessa Brown with the new facility opening there in the South End and Othello Street. And then we asked her what makes Odessa Brown special. Why should people care? Here's Dr. Shaquita Bell.
Shaquita Bell. I'm the interim senior medical director for the Odessa Brown Children's Clinic. I've been at Odessa Brown for a little over 15 years, and I've been the interim senior medical director for about 3 months. Odessa Brown is a neighborhood clinic. We really model ourselves after a community health model. So we offer medical care, dental care, behavioral health, WIC, social work, nutrition, really the idea that a family could come in and get all their needs met in a single clinic. We were started in the Black community when local elders and folks who were leaders in the community identified that our community did not have adequate access to health care. And so they came together and said, we want to build something for us, by us, and for our community. And that's what created Odessa Brown. And we continue to this day, serving that community and being led by that community. So this clinic was started by Odessa Brown, Blanche Levizo, and Miss Thomas, who I have to call Miss Thomas because she was still here when I started, and I can't think of her in any other way. We were really fortunate a couple of months ago to have Odessa Brown's family visit. So they had a wedding in the family, and so they kind of created a family reunion, and they all came and visited the clinic and took pictures with her picture. And it was this moment of really grounding us as a clinic. It was funny because we were sort of fangirling on them. And they were, of course, like, this is an amazing legacy of our grandmother and our great-grandmother. And it was this moment that really superseded any individual, right? And said, this is what we're meant to do. This is where we're meant to be. And it just grounded all of the staff, me included, on how important this work is to our community, to the Central District and to South Seattle. I mean, we know that the history of of Western medicine, the foundation in which it's built is racism. There's exploitation, there's been experimentation and genocide through the course of medicine. So absolutely we see that resonating. I see it resonating with myself and with my own family members, and certainly with my community members and my patients. And then I think misinformation is also playing a really major role. I mean, there's stuff out there about, you name it, you can hear it, like fertility or things being injected into you that will track you. These things that are really fear-inducing, that create a very valid response in people of being cautious, of wanting to ask more questions. And what's really important for us as a community clinic is to be here to share answers and to provide truth. I think their relationship with children's is certainly the elephant in the room. It's certainly something that has evolved over time and has been under the microscope for the last year. I view my position as an ability to connect the two for good. So I believe we're stronger together. I said that as a community, I said that about COVID, and I think that about medicine as well. So when we started talking, I was talking about how the very foundation, the structure of Western medicine is racist. And if you are not actively working against racism than you're participating in. It's the same thing as silence equals violence. If I am not coming to work as a pediatrician or as a member of this team, if I'm not coming to work every day and actively thinking about how I can be anti-racist or protect my patients from experiencing racism in medicine, then I'm not doing my job. And so part of that is partnering with Children's in a way that we benefit from being affiliated with a larger hospital, right? I don't have an operating room here. I don't have an emergency room here. And the fact is, our patients need those things sometimes. People sometimes need to have their appendix taken out. And we can help connect people with a system that can provide that, but we can also help inform how care is delivered at Children's. So we can help teach them, what does trauma-informed care look like? What does anti-racism activities look like? There's a lot of little small things that really come together to make a big change. So I look at our relationship as really bi-directional, where we are able to benefit, frankly, to benefit financially and with resources, and then we can give back in teaching how do you provide care, what is it like to be a Black Indigenous woman as a physician, and what do I need to be able to practice my medicine the best as possible. Those are all lessons that I get to provide, that I have an opportunity to teach the hospital on. We're really excited about Odessa Brown Othello. It's on the corner of MLK and Othello, and I like to mention that it's only 7 minutes away from my house, so that's where you'll see me a lot. I'll still come to our central location here. An interesting note on that, so we're calling this Odessa Brown Central, where we're at here on 21st and Yesler, because Yesler was a colonial settler who was racist and participated in crimes against our people. So we're choosing not to acknowledge that name and to call this clinic the Central Clinic. Plus, we're in the Central District, so it makes a lot of sense. And then Othello, because it's on Othello and MLK, and we're really excited about the clinic. If anybody hasn't driven by lately, I was just there, like I said, on Saturday. It's a beautiful building with beautiful artwork that represents our community. I think we have something like 27 different artists that are local artists that are Black, Indigenous, Latinx, from the community, representing our community in our art alone. That's just one of the impacts of that new building. Affordable housing above it, which is really exciting, and we're hoping that a lot of the people who live there will be able to receive their care at our clinic. And it's opening in March, so that's right around the corner. I keep saying, oh, Othello's coming, but it's really coming at this point. So we're hiring a bunch of new positions. We're looking at new ways to deliver care, so coordinating visits. So you might make an appointment with one team and be offered an appointment at the same time with somebody else. You can get sort of a 2-for-1. We're going to offer just-in-time services. So you come in and you're like, I made this doctor's appointment, but boy, my tooth really hurts. We'll be able to offer you both of those services while you're there. And then so much more. Coach Lenny Wilkins has been so generous as a supporter of Odessa Brown over the years. We have a new movement space, a recreation space dedicated to him. That's going to be a gym. I'm sure there'll be lots of basketball, but many other sports happening there. There'll be a kitchen, and we'll have really exciting subspecialty services like sickle cell care ongoing here and at that location, sports medicine, dermatology, adolescent medicine. It's really, really exciting. But I think it's also important to mention we're going to do all of those things here at our central location too. We have heard loud and clear from our community that this site is really important, and that much like gentrification has pushed so much of our Black community out of this neighborhood, we are not going anywhere. We're going to stay here, and we're going to make sure that any new and innovative services that are offered at Othello are also going to be offered at Central, so that patients can come and get care where they want, and they get to choose what location is best for them. I care about Odessa Brown. First of all, as a Black Indigenous woman, I didn't have access to health care growing up. My parents did the best they could, and eventually, closer to when I was in school, I was finally able to see my first dentist. And I still remember the first time I got shots because it left quite a searing memory in me. And what I have experienced over my lifetime is different types of care. So places where I come and I see people like myself, and I feel heard, and I feel seen, and I feel like they care about my health. And I've certainly experienced other times where I've felt ignored, or that I was invisible, or that my life wasn't important. And Why I think people should care about Odessa Brown is because we are absolutely committed to every person who enters this building. Not just the patients, but their parents, their siblings. Everyone who comes in here is important to us. In fact, many of our staff are our patients and families. We are a community and we are a family. And you feel it the minute you come in. And so when I talk about the heart, I mean that sort of the thing that you can't even, it's not very even tangible. I'm having a hard time articulating it because you feel it, you see it. I'm sure you felt it when you walked in the front door, that we're all here for the same purpose, and that's to serve our community, to lift up the leaders before us who taught us to provide quality care with dignity, because we have been the heart of the Black community and we continue to be so, and we continue to see ourselves in the staff that work here and the providers that work here. I think people should care about Odessa Brown because it's the best clinic in the whole world, and it's such a privilege to work here and to be able to care for everyone regardless of their ability to pay, regardless of what language they speak, whether they have a passport or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome here, and everyone will get quality care with dignity when they walk in those doors.
You know, a year and a half ago, probably right near the end of 2020, I was cataloging a bunch of footage for what ultimately became the intro to the morning show. And we wanted to get a lot of footage from the Central District and various different historic and, cultural landmark type places. And so we had this list, and on it, were a number of different ones from Garfield High School to Langston Hughes to Pratt Park, and the Odessa Brown Clinic was also on that list. And as I'm listening to this piece right here, it just reiterated to me the importance of having a reputable and trustworthy healthcare facility for the Black community, because as we've heard on this show and on Clapback Culture and just in conversations that I've had over the course of my time while being at Converge, it's very evident that it has not been a field that has been able to be trusted over the years. People can't trust a doctor that they maybe don't know, or et cetera, et cetera. And so to have a place like Odessa Brown has been obviously so important. And then now to have another facility opening up in the South End, which is where a lot of the Black community has been pushed out towards. And then not just that, but as somebody who also is such a user of public transportation, this is a facility that is going to be right off of the light rail line. And also on MLK, there are many buses, and not too far away as well, you've got Rainier, which also has a number of buses that run up and down as well. So not just to have the facility there, but to also place it in a location that is able to be accessed by the community.
That was one of the things I talked about with Dr. Bell, was that this new facility there, and with the light rail, I mean, they very well might be getting patients who live out by Northgate, what I'm saying, who really just want to have a culturally relevant approach, but there's so many instances. And when we talk about just one of these things here with vaccine hesitancy in our community, because there's so many things that people draw upon that unfortunately have been negative experiences. But, Odessa Brown, and the people that work there ever since I was a little kid, it's been a safe space and community, and somewhere that you don't have to worry about the empathy gap, where a lot of times you go to a hospital, and especially Black women, you go and see a doctor and they just assume that you have a higher pain tolerance or a higher this and that. And so, I mean, the work that Dr. Bell and the team is doing over there at Odessa Brown is great. We look forward to the grand opening out in March. I think we'll probably be there, huh?
Yeah, and like she said in the piece, that's coming up soon, but it's coming up real soon now. We've got only a month left.
Yeah, good stuff. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, the Morning Update show continues.